Alright, right now, for some reason we got this funky idea because
we're spontaneous like that.
Some say. But the testing center is apparently overcrowded because everyone likes to procrastinate and it's the last day you can take your finals. And so we're going to go randomly up to people and interview them like we're a newscast. And we totally don't even look legit. I mean, we got Hiram in the helicopter. We got Benjamin.
I'll be a cameraman filming. And then we got Jesse, he'll be holding the mic, and the mic's totally jack, it's just like fake.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to JBUDD News. Today our story is on the record-breaking line that BYU has ever seen in the testing center. Well, here we have it, folks. This is the end of the line. Some say that it's a quarter-mile long. Others, a half.
Because I am about to fail my class. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went golf.
How long have you been waiting in this really, really long line?
About 4 hours. It sucks.
4 hours? So you got here at 2. That's ridiculous, folks.
Yeah, you just start studying in line.
Yeah. That's a lot of time to study. You could be doing other things, like fishing.
It better not be. Well, I was waiting by the JSB once. I was right next to the JSB, and it took me an hour and a half to get in. And we're about 4 times as long as that.
So how long have you been waiting, and where did you start?
It started back at the Brim, or let's see, the McKay building, way back there. And I've been waiting probably 45 minutes. It's not too long.
45 minutes? How much distance do you think that is?
I don't know, 200 feet, 300 feet.
200 feet? 45 minutes over 200 feet. You divide that out. It's 4 feet a minute. Well, folks, the journey's been long, but it was worth it to fail. That's great. How do you think that's going to affect you in like a long-term scheme of things?
I think I just failed at life.
That's really slow.
That is.
I hear slugs, they go at least like 2 centimeters per minute.
Probably faster.
Per minute, folks.
Some guy right in front of us, he is in the wrong line. He's in the wrong building, so he had to go to the other building after waiting like
4 hours.
It was horrible. I mean, that sucks.
You work for the testing center, right?
Yes, I did.
We heard this disturbing story of a kid that waited all the way in line and found out he was in the wrong place.
Unfortunately, Jim?
Jim, yes.
That happens a lot, actually, and it's quite frustrating for us because we do feel bad for them, but as they enter the building and go up the stairs, there are these signs posted quite frequently on the walls.
Well, Jane, what if they don't know how to read? Have you thought of that?
I haven't thought of that, Jim. That's an interesting question. And then my question would be, what university are they attending? And, my friend,
Some of us might call it a cougar university. Me and Chaz were talking earlier, and he said
This is like the gas chambers of BYU right now.
the gas chambers of BYU. What if we had bunk desks?
bunk desks.
Double desks?
I hear you.
Triple.
Like the
Triple?
the buses and stuff.
Like make it more like a Holocaust type
You
atmosphere?
guys should throw that one. I'm thinking.
What do you think of that idea?
They're kind of awkward.
Awkward.
Expand the testing center, or hire more people, like have more places around campus.
We had this idea about like 2 desks on top of each other so we can get like more efficient testing. How do you feel about that?
Well, if you want to be in campus IDs, then sure.
I think I do.
Okay.
Make it more dense. We were thinking like bunk desks, like
Yeah.
maybe stacking 2 desks on top of each other. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Another idea that was presented to us is what if we like carved like underneath the building and created like this little cave. We could put like more desks under there, and maybe we could probably put a work light in there so they can see their test still. You know?
There's always options like that.
There's always more options. Do you have a girlfriend?
Not right now.
On the other side of the building right now. Do you plan on getting married?
I hope so someday.
Screwed, folks.
Were you planning?
The word screwed is kind of like derogatory towards screws. And so we were thinking maybe less derogatory, so maybe like a nail?
A nail.
We think that's kind of dirty. That an RA of BYU shouldn't be using such language.
Well, I'm in trouble, basically.
No,
Yeah,
plan on
mine.
3 hours to take the test.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking at the new Gordon B. Hinckley Alumni House, and I think that's great, but when I'm seeing the school pump money into that before they pump it into students who are actually at school, I'm pretty disappointed.
We're just wondering what poor kid won't get in. Will it be that kid or that kid?
You are the last person in line. Congratulations. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's pretty sad. I don't think I'll get in my test.
Doesn't know if he's going to get this test. We have now made a record-breaking line. We are now past the McKay building, and we're now heading on to forbidden grounds of the JFSB. And the line just keeps growing, folks.
It's the last day of finals. People could have taken their test earlier. The line sucks. I agree.
Well, folks, that was the wave. It was pretty enthusiastic, but I thought we could have done better.
Yeah, that sucked.
Well, folks, we tried to provide some entertainment for these folks, but they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't hearken. They think studying is more important. Well, the journey's been a long one. For the long run, I think it was worth it. I'm not sure why. Eventually, these tests are going to become your future. If you don't take into account the small little things, eventually you're going to end up living in a gutter somewhere. A life is basically one big long line. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you got to step up to the plate and realize that you've made mistakes that you've got to wait through, you know? And if you can't learn to wait through this little teeny 45-minute line, well, stop your complaining. Because life is just only going to get harder, you know? That's the way I feel. All you crybabies that don't even want to do the wave, I quit.